Welcome everyone, and thank you so much for joining in today to be present here to, have a very great discussion to onboard us. Over here, I have a remarkable group and distinguished leaders who have not only, done excel work in their communications and PR industries, but they have also paved the way for the next generation of women who are to come into the field. PR has been an industry which has been male dominated despite women making a long and great number of workforce. Yet it's male dominating, and it's very sad to know. But with these ladies and many more to come, we are here to navigate these challenges, find some solutions, inspiring insights, and inspiring a change that can, help the generation overcome the challenges and find a way to set into the PR field and make strides in their careers. So with that, I would like to start with my first question. I will start with you, Madhurima. So what opportunities exist for women to reshape leadership models in this industry? How can we challenge outdated perceptions?
So, hello everybody, and hi Badhavi and my co-panelists. There are huge opportunities for women in marketing communications or the communications industry, because I call ourselves the enablers. We call ourselves the strategic partners of companies who set the tone, who bring out the stories of companies, highlighting what are the key strengths or what are the areas in which we navigate. And we play a very crucial role in even driving and the business, for our companies. Yeah, but what Madhavi said, but there is a very glaring, which we face, a very glaring treatment we face in our workplaces, and which is we are seen as cost to company, or we are seen as, what do you say, a support function. But I don't know when it will move to business partnership, or we'll be seen as strategic partners who really play a crucial role. I work in a very gender neutral organization. So as far as that bias is concerned, that I don't confront. But the only place where I would say I confront something, it is just that the role is seen as not so great as someone who brings in the business. That's what I feel.
Kansha?
Yeah.
So, am I audible, guys? Yeah. Okay. So I think, so I would not deny that there are challenges. For the last, almost 18 years plus that I've worked, there have been multiple instances. I'm the only woman in the room with all male leaders. They feel a little uncomfortable when it's like a discussion that is not more formal in nature. It is difficult to rise up the ranks because, they're all men out there. It's difficult to kind of put your voice across. You're seen as a little more aggressive because you're speaking your mind. And of course, the comms in itself as a function is seen as something which is more like okay, we need you because you can get us the stories, but it's a little difficult for comms professionals to kind of get there and be seen as somebody who's really important. So interestingly, I think there are opportunities, but what you need to do is primarily that you need to break away from the shackles of the fact that, we are a cost center. You have to think more strategically. You have to put your point across more logically. So you're not seen as more aggressive, but as somebody who's putting a point across more logically with all the, do all the homework when you go there. And also, it's important for you to kind of go out and speak your mind. Have a clear view, have managers who kind of listen to you. That also becomes important. Because if they don't really see value in what you're putting on the table, then it won't really work. So I think challenges do remain, do stay, but I think with women, especially women, in the leadership team, it makes a lot of difference. They add a very different dimension. They add a lot of, they add a lot of focus on emotional intelligence. They add a lot of focus on thinking from a different perspective, which is missing. So it's important for communicators like us to put that point across and work strategically to get women in the leadership team.
Very rightly said. A lot of work to be done by women to be on the top. Yeah, Tanya, your thoughts?
So my perception is, when you're in a room and there are other leaders, they always see PR or communication as something that's not directly driving business, or that's not something very important, right? And I think there is where the perception can be changed, and it always happens when you don't fear away from speaking, like Akansha said, fear away from speaking your mind up and just letting others know that whatever you're saying is not just bringing stories, driving, communications. It's always the indirect impact that you're directly bringing to the brand reputation, to the business. So if everybody, like all the leaders across, understand this and we are able to make them understand, then that's the best that can happen to us, like as leaders.
True. And it's very difficult to make people understand, especially men.
Yeah.
Okay, so moving on to the next question. Women in leadership roles often face unique hurdles, like we all have already discussed them, from unconsciousness bias to balancing a lot of expectations. What are these challenges and how can they be effectively addressed?
So I think what we do and what we showcase on the table, I think that's what matters. So once they see the kind of, like my global CEO, he really understands the use of marketing and communications and PR in driving the business, and his visibility to be seen for what we want to be famous for instance. So, once leaders, so some bit of education is required probably within the system to show the power of PR and corporate communications. And once we do that, I think the acceptance will be a lot more, and people will understand the impact our department can do to businesses to really, have a good growth trajectory, I feel. And, I keep telling my people, I said, I don't want you to go and, go cold calling or, go and look for new business. You come to me and you tell me that, I want to be here, I want more business. I will bring visibility for your expertise vertical, or your vertical. And I'll say that we have this through thought leadership, through POVs, or through exclusive stories. And, once they see that we have global tools, we have like state-of-the-art, stuff that can really impact businesses of companies, they will themselves come to you. More a pull versus push. So, I don't know how people, they should realize companies, I feel, still need to be educated about the role this wonderful department can play in driving growth. Yeah. So these are the challenges. That's all I feel. Yeah.
Okay, so I think first and foremost, the biggest challenge that as women we face, and I try to correct myself also, and not that I'm 100% there, is that we create our own glass ceiling. We think that, okay, this is, ye nahi ho payega, this cannot happen, how can I do this, they're all men out here, I don't think they will hear my voice, they won't let me speak. So we create our own imaginary situations, and we just kind of live with that, and we don't try and be ourselves. So that is one big challenge we face, and it's important for us to stand up for ourselves and be ourselves and speak what we want to speak. Secondly, also, as women, we are trained, maybe possibly, if I'm using the right word, that we don't go, or by nature, we don't kind of go and self-promote. So there have been multiple instances, actually, if you go, and if there are men, they will talk a lot of great things about what they do, but with women, they try to play it down. That goes against us. So if I have to go and negotiate as a woman, I'll be like, nee, I won't get this much money. I think I'm okay with a 10, 20%, whatever is the best. If you look at a guy, comparatively, he will say, I want a 60% hike. So that becomes a big challenge, because we create those situations for our own self. That's something we need to fight for and kind of address ourselves, so we get the opportunities that that we deserve. It should not be that, We are the limiting factor for our own growth. And I think one more thing that I feel women face, and it's not generic, but I faced it earlier in my career, is the pay parity. The pay parity does not exist. I've been asked questions like, okay, so you're getting this much money. Okay, so you're not married. Why do you need this much money? Well, you'll get 10%, it's fine. Where do you spend the money? Anyways, your dad must be paying the bills. You know what I mean? So those kind of questions don't get asked to men. So that's the thing we also have to stand up. We have to show that the kind of, what we bring to the table, the kind of expertise we have, how great we are, that, I mean, we're asking for what we deserve. That's important.
True. I think we are kind of forced to undersell ourselves. Like for an example, not just about the pay parity and the marriage thing. Women are often asked about their age. Okay, if you are 30 above, you'll be marrying soon, so you'll be leaving. So why do you want that kind of a hike? There will be a gap. The questions are going on.
Yes, I have had friends, and in fact, I will not name people, senior people who've been asked in, in VC meetings that, okay, now you're married, so now when are you planning a child? So the person had told me that, I never thought about it, but I was asked this question. So it's across the board. It's not only PR, it's across the board. While it's changing, but there's a lot more that needs to be done.
See, I think, and I don't know how many people would agree to it, but I think other females can be best friends and can be, enemies as well, best enemies as well.
Yeah.
So what I have faced, challenge majorly has not come from the other half of, the population, but from females itself. So because whatever they have seen, whatever they have faced, they think that it's okay if you are facing the same because they have gone through the same thing.
They're posing the same
Correct.
thing.
So when you tell them, okay, I need this much hike, if it's about pay parity, or I need this promotion, or I need something, I don't care if you got it in 5 years, I need it in 3 years, I'm doing double the work as you were doing maybe. They don't understand. So I think what we need today is women supporting women, understanding, okay, things can change over time, and as leaders also, I also just, the young kids, right, fresh out of college are so full of energy and they've seen so much more than we have already.
But they're just put down because of
Correct.
Experience and all.
So that's where women in leadership, the role of women in leadership also plays a great driver of their success. So I think that's the challenge, and that's how it can be solved.
True. Moving on, now we have talked about ourselves, how and what we can do, but how can organizations actively support female professionals and ensure that PR teams foster diversity and equity? Now, we have done our part. What organizations can do?
So organizations for PR and communications, I think first of all they need to recognize this as at par with even HR. We get even a short shrift compared to HR. HR, they say, oh, they handle such a big workforce. They're responsible for this. We get such a short shrift. I feel we are the smartest department. I would call ourselves the CEO of the company. I'll tell you why. Because whatever the CEO says and whatever we tell, we tutor everyone what to say. We tutor the journalists as to what they should ask. The kind of important role we play, but do we get recognized for that? We don't. We get such a poor treatment from companies. So the role that they can play, first of all, we should ourselves see how we can get ahead. And we have, since we are such smart women, all of us, we are such smart and, intelligent women, we can do some good courses where we can, leadership courses, and carve a niche for ourselves, pave the way for ourselves. If one company doesn't recognize your true worth, go ahead, explore the waters, and see what is the gap between a leadership role and you. Maybe you need to just upskill yourself or reskill yourself. So I think we need to ourselves do some bit of introspection to see how we can get there where we want to be and get those big pay packets, that we truly deserve. That's what I feel.
So I really think and this is based on my personal experience, that this flows from the top. If you have a great leader who empowers women and just doesn't say it, you will see women rise and deliver their best work. If you have leaders who are the traditional ones who are okay with whatever it is, then it won't happen. So the commitment, while I can always say that the commitment should be at the organization level, there should be a DEI policy, all of that, but I think it comes from the top. It has to be the top management team, the top leaders who have to actually create that path for you. So as comms leaders, I always say that a comms leader is as powerful as the CEO makes him or her. And I've seen it. You can be as empowered as a CEO makes you, or you could be as just another person as a workforce. That's it. So I think that is very important. And also I think organizations, of course, should create these platforms where women, younger women could come and kind of get mentored. I think that was a challenge for us in early days. We couldn't really get that mentorship. There wasn't that much of social media. We could only meet people when we would go for events, possibly 6 times in a year. And it wasn't that approachable. Maybe we were not that confident, possibly. So I think it's important to create that platform, get women across the board, with different years of experience to come and talk, share their problems, learn from people, and also, invest a bit more on leadership or executive presence for, say, middle management, so they could scale to the next level. Because it's not that, I'm just going to do my job and I will learn it. Not everybody will. So it's important to also invest in that. Maybe you can do it individually, or you can get your organization should do it. I think these would work.
So I agree with Akansha, it flows from the top. In my organization, currently, we have 50-50 representation in the leadership team. And so whenever there is some opportunity, like somebody has to go to an event and speak, we are being pushed by our CEOs, and he comes and sits and mentors us. So mentorship is very important, and I love men who are feminists. They actually push you to the limit that the best comes out of you.
And that one single push can do wonders.
It can do wonders.
One event and then next and then next,
Correct.
You are unstoppable.
Yeah, so mentorship, and especially when the support comes from your, male peers, it's fantastic. And definitely, like I said, women helping women will always help. So.
True. With more women taking on leadership roles in PR, and with what steps can industry leaders take to create pathways for emerging female talent? And I would like to begin with you only, because
No, I think mentorship programs definitely help big time. Because when you're starting young, you don't know much about the industry, and everybody tells you, oh, you are like whatever course you're taking, now PR is the best thing for you because it's a female-led industry, right? And when you enter, you realize, and everybody, even, so I'll tell you, when I had begun my journey, so my friends, some of them became journalists, right? And they told me that it's so nice to get calls from you guys because all are girls and they talk so nicely. So I was like, oh God, we are just, we are doing the job. And so then I got there was another perception that I received that, okay, then I was not sure how sweet I have to be, how bitter I have to be, how to balance things so that I don't come across as, somebody being too sweet to journalists. So these are the kind of challenges that actually happen when you begin.
right.
So if there are women actually telling their journeys to the younger girls who've just come out of college, it helps big time, right? And so mentorship is something
I truly agree. Mentorship is something that can, even create a path for you. My personal experience, I have done masters in computer engineering. I'm not from the communications background, but because of the right mentors that I got early on, I'm sitting here and I could do well in my career and I could follow PR. So yeah, mentorship goes a long way. Kansha?
So I think, yes, mentorship is very important. Maybe very, the formal mentorship, but also not only that, maybe we could make it a way of life. kind of, if we come across anybody, anybody for that matter is what I believe, who needs a little bit of guidance, it doesn't take much to just guide people. And also it's important to kind of talk about your story, talk about your challenges, talk about your journey, because there are many who may read it and get inspired. So I think that is also very important for us as women leaders to kind of be there. Maybe now a few communities exist. Maybe you could make a community. This is a great forum that Exchange for Media has built around it, and I think maybe if we could build to a larger community, Karan, possibly where we could get more women who could interact with each other on an ongoing basis, that could also help, in the sense that they have something to fall back on and not go back every year to kind of ask their questions. So I think that works very well, and also lead by example. So, it's not like just talk about it at a forum, but do it, talk about, help them see a path in the next 5 years where they will be. I think that will work.
Okay, some good stuff from all my co-panelists. So, what I would feel like, since I've also done some more than 20 years in this industry, so what I would advise, young hopefuls or those who are getting into the industry, you should always start with a PR company. That's where I started. You get trained in every nuance of the profession. I remember I worked with this company called India Infomedia. The gentleman actually taught me how to write. The way we write before training and the way we write after that, it's completely different. So I think start with a PR company, make those press monitors. I made those press monitors. I learned how to write a press release. And then I was then thrown into the waters. I had to just join the corporate world after an agency. And I have been the only PR person in whichever company I worked. And I have had to build in every company, just one person. So you can imagine. So you have to navigate your way, and then you also have to learn along the way from your own mistakes, from your own learnings. Also about talking to journalists. I remember in the beginning when I called, this lady was very rude to me, one of the journalists, because you're just a young girl. You're just saying, hello, I just wanted to understand. She'll say, if you're not intelligent and smart, they can also just say, listen, what are you saying? And they'll just bang the phone on you. So, you have gone through that, and now the editors, you work with editors, they pick up the phone, yeah, tell me, what you want to talk about? Yes, sure, we can do that for you, definitely. So, the whole, it has the transition I've seen from being a stupid, person to, how I have grown over the years. Now, we are at that stage where, all of us are in that stage where we have become smart enough to navigate the world on our own strengths and talk about it and get through. So I think that initial learning in a PR company where you handle so many accounts and you handle how to write and every step, that is a good learning curve which everyone should take, I feel.
I guess PR professionals are one of the smartest people, because they are working on so many clients from different industries, and we get to learn about their business and models and everything, and then put their story out to the world. We are really doing good, I guess. So with that, my last question is, if companies could just take one immediate action today to empower women in PR, what that would be according to you, ladies?
Can I start?
Yes.
Yeah. Please put us in the boardroom. I'm in the leadership team. I'm not in the executive committee. Executive committee only has people who bring the business. So, recognize the work that we do, recognize the, the importance we make to the business. Put us in at the strategy stage when you're strategizing about the business. Don't tell us, oh, we need you to do this. We are not followers, we are leaders, right? So harness our potential, I feel.
So Madhurima has said what all of us would feel, and it's absolutely true. I have worked I've worked closely with the board, with the chairman of the board in my last stint, and I think it really empowers you more when you have that seat on the table, when you have that presence. Generally, comms people don't have, but if you look at the trend overseas, they have a seat on the table. So I think we are, as an industry, we are progressing, but I think it's important for us in India to actually start getting that seat on the table, first be a part of the leadership team, and then of course get to work with the board, with the investors, with the chairman of the board, you know, and the founders and all of that. So it gives you, because it helps you get a better perspective and also design a much more cohesive reputation strategy, which will do a great job for you. And beyond communications, if I have to, you know, answer this question, I would say that, you know, organizations should do a sense check, and it should not be like drop a feedback in this box, because we all know that just gets checked. And they'll have to do a sense check, which is maybe you know, very informally done, to get a sense of where they are in terms of empowering women, in terms of this entire issue, and then define steps that could really help correct it at different levels. It cannot be done only at the top level. It has to be done across levels, so that women, there is a succession planning. So if you just empower leaders to go to the management team, it will not help. You will also have to empower middle managers to get to the leadership team, and you have to empower the younger folks to get into middle management. So I think it has to be designed across the board. A lot of organizations are doing it. I think we'll see the change.
And just to add one more point to Akanksha's, I think companies should also look at, you know, do some mapping of salaries at that top level. I think it's highly inconsistent in companies. Somewhere people get more than, I don't know, I'm not naming the figure, but in some places it's like, it's shocking the kind of compensation women get at the top. You know, there needs to be some standardization, I believe. Yeah.
So in addition to what Madhurima and Kansha just said, that you know, having a seat on the table within the boardroom, I feel skilling across levels for women is very important, and everybody, like the CEOs, CXOs, whoever they are, should understand that women have the same cerebral capacity, also have a very strong gut feeling. So make use of their potential and make use of their, like, whatever, intuition. It will bring the best out of, you know, within the organization.
Wonderfully said. And I think we still have a few more minutes left for the panel to get over. If anyone from the audience has anything to ask this incredible group of panelists, love to have any questions.
Ladies and gentlemen, the floor is now open for questions and answers. In case you have any questions related to this particular panel discussion, simply raise your hand. We shall pass on a mic.
Hi, I'm Akriti. I'm from Viziki. Madhurima, you brought out a very fantastic point, which is that we need to figure out how we make our way to the board and
Yes.
bring more cognizance. I think Tanya also made that point.
Yeah.
In your career so far, how have you been able to bring this? Is there any steps that you can guide folks here that you can do this to bring yourself on the, you know, board table?
So you're a necessary evil for the company. Once they know that you are, no, because once they know you're the only person who can give you that eyeballs, publicity, make you leaders, make you, you know, stand out in the crowd, or, you know, bring out the best, then everyone will come to you with a very humble heart. So, you know, I think that's the power of us. So, you know, once, you know, to be heard, to get the work done, and when you realize you're the only person who can do it, that itself is so empowering. And, you know, companies also realize that, you know, your true potential, and they give you that status that you need. But still, it is a notch below the EC, which is the people who bring you those big, large crores worth of business. Because I'm in a B2B brand. So the person who gets 100 crore worth of business definitely stands a higher place. But then I've also got you crores worth of publicity, which you're not recognizing. So that's what is my ask. Yeah.
Sometimes it's not a God gift. This such qualities is not a God gift.
You can hone over the years. It's all through through the experience. I think all of us
Yeah.
will agree. We all start as stupid girls. I mean, I started as a very dumb person, and I built my way up. I'm telling you, because when you talk to the media for the first time, you're so scared because, they'll say, what is it? Then they actually banged the phone on you. It's happened to me when I was really.
No, I had so many fights
but
with
then,
journalists.
you don't have to give up. You have to be that, you should have a thick skin here in this profession. Someone will say no to you once, twice, and then when you give them some very nice story or give them some data which can really make a difference to their story, then they start recognizing the kind of work that you do.